Hey, while people are distracted, Kansas Republicans have successfully overridden the governor's veto to authorize genital inspection of children who want to play sports. Republicans overrid the governor's veto so they could fondle children and inspect children who want to play sports. That's the Republicans who did that.
Hello and welcome, recording live from KCAI Studios. This is Sunflower State of Mind. I'm your host, Kent, and always with me, we got the Zachman and Whit. What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
How are you tonight?
Continuing the habit of not knowing how to do a day off properly, apparently.
Yeah. We scheduled a day off here, and things just kind of broke, and here we are.
I'll take responsibility on it. I said we should take the week off, and then the very next day I said no, we can't.
Yeah.
Guys, let's do this.
It's been an incredible week of news. We're so happy that you're here. Greg, hello. Thanks for joining us. If you've joined us before, thank you for your time and your feedback, and welcome. If you're new here, be sure to like and follow, subscribe, and share. Let us know your thoughts as we carry on in the chats. Let us know if we're on point or if we're missing something. Fact check us real time. We're here having a personal conversation about the world that we see it. And again, if you don't comment, like, share, subscribe, you won't get to see our posts. So we want you to see our posts, and we want you to interact with us as we interact throughout the community, especially during election cycles, and those are warming up. So like, share, subscribe, comment, do all those fun things, and set your notifications. There's so many of you here tonight.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. So you've seen several teachers posting that they are retiring early. I have been hearing this since the beginning of last summer. There's been we're treating them like
teetering on the edge, just got shoved off.
We're treating our district is treating them like crap. That's just all there is to it.
Not
They're
funny.
undermining their own expertise in literally everything. Like, teachers are trained. This is a very altruistic job, and they want to help, and we're questioning every single decision they make, even though most of those decisions are perfectly perfectly valid and shown to be provenly working. Like, just Monday, Jennifer, the president of the board, was questioning SEL, social and emotional learning, which is literally just teaching kids how to handle their own emotions so they don't freak out all the time.
Yeah. You know, and that's something that our schools are dealing with post-COVID. There's so many kids that were traumatized by COVID. They don't trust people. They don't want to be around people. They don't want to be in groups of people. They just don't trust anything.
There are kids coming up that grew up in COVID. Like, that was their introduction to the world. And now they're all being forced into these crowds that they've never been a part of. It's a completely different world. It needs to be completely remapped. And until we recognize it as a problem, we got to have a real conversation, and firing teachers is not the solution.
Well, they're not even firing them. There's resignations happening because they're being pushed out. I mean, once again, we already talked about it. There's this current year, they're up to 450,000, I think, somewhere around there, and buyouts, basically. And then, but now this, what happened today is huge. It
is. It's a big reshuffle. They call it an RFI, which is reorganize, enforce.
Yeah. So
something to that
RIF.
nature.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
RIF.
they did something similar to this back the USD 457 did something similar to this back in like 2011 or 12. I was an educator with the zoo, so I was partnered with the science teachers, and we actually ended up doing a ton more programs because they added
in force.
Reduction in force. Yes.
Thank
So
you.
what they're trying to do.
Whitney.
No, that's fine. They're trying to actually lower the amount of people that they need. The problem is you can only go so low before it becomes incompetent. Like it's just no longer functioning. But the thing is, back then they had writing as a language, but they were finding that they were really hurting in science. So they moved a bunch of the writing teachers over to science.
Right.
This is different, though. I've been talking with a number of teachers, a number that are affected by this. This is going to be different. So apparently what they're going to do is they're hurting in other areas. So instead of, hey, we're doing good in this area, we should keep that up, they're just basically destroying the entire science program for the elementary schools. And they're moving those science teachers to classroom teachers.
General education
teachers, and then they're going to replace them with long-term subs. So they're taking a specialty and replacing them with substitutes who aren't even like fully trained to be teachers. Yeah.
And that's nothing against those people that have chosen to do that. We need people that don't necessarily have teaching degrees but are willing to fill in when teachers can't. They need to be, but it shouldn't be a permanent solution.
And then there's And then there's what else they added to this situation.
An interventionist, which is extremely crucial in so many ways. Interventionalists, they step in when a child needs more personalized instruction, where they aren't getting everything they need in the classroom.
Any teachers watching, you can correct us if we're wrong on it.
I don't want to interrupt the conversation here, guys, but we kind of just dived right into it. And,
we did.
We've got a lot of new people here, and they don't have all the facts. So, Kent, why don't you break down exactly what happened today that got us to the point where we broke this news. We were the first ones to hear about it and put it out there.
And we do want to thank our viewers and our watchers.
We haven't even gotten to that part yet. Go ahead,
reaching out to us and sharing these stories with us and let us know what's going on in the community. There's so much fear of retaliation that people can't speak up inside their own profession on what would be better for them or what's hurting them without fear of retaliation. So they call us, and we thank you so much for being brave enough to make that phone call. I heard from a lot of new people today on this subject after this broke today. But it was, about 10 o'clock this morning. I received a phone call from a teacher who was in her car who had been told that they were reorganizing interventionalists and ESL. So basically they're taking these specialized teachers out of these programs and putting them into general education classrooms, which these teachers aren't used to having classrooms. They typically work out of offices and with small groups of people, so it's more one-on-one.
I'm actually going to make one other point. So an interventionist is actually slightly more than your standard teacher because they
psychology is a big part of it.
Yeah, they're like a psychologist and a teacher combined. They find where one student is struggling and bring them back up to be closer to the rest of the group as best they can. So they also are in charge. So Jose pointed out, from what I understand, they're getting rid of the ESL positions, which that also helps. The ESL is kind of all part of that because that would be something that somebody might be struggling with. So that's part of what they're also getting rid of in this whole restructuring.
They're not getting rid of the departments necessarily. They're going to fill these with substitute teachers.
Yes. And the thing is, they are getting rid of them because they're moving the interventionists and these other people into general teacher roles.
And then in a year or two, they're going to say, look at the results these programs are producing. They're failing miserably. Why would we continue to fund this?
And political
amnesia is a real problem in this country.
as blessed to have the family that I do and live in the country that I do in the situation that we're in, this benefits me probably. I'm going to have the qualified, accredited teachers teaching my child. But the issue with this is it affects a majority of people in this community in a way that is
ESL,
detrimental.
English is a second language, and if I remember, we have a school district that has over 200 languages spoken in it.
Is it 200? Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. There's like 29 different languages.
I thought it was somewhere. Last I heard was somewhere around 37. More. It changes all the time because
incredibly awesome.
The thing is, our entire economy is based on migrant and refugee workers at the meat packing plants. So we need those. We need to be taking care of those people, those individuals that are now part of our community, and by removing these programs. I mean, what is it? Anybody who says, well, they better learn English, better not support this decision, because this is literally the opposite of that. Like, we're taking away the ability.
Right. Just like when they got rid of the group that helped migrating families with the Somalis and whatnot. Mm-hmm. They got rid of that program, and they were helping to teach drive and all of that. And
volunteer for
and
that
now
one.
Everybody wants to complain about how bad that group of people drives, but nobody wants to initiate a program to help.
Yeah.
The
imagine our, I hate to grade our students on state assessments. I think most teachers would agree that state assessments are a horrible scale to hold all of our students to. But what this does is it hurts reading. We're struggling in reading, and this is going to significantly harm those scores.
Big time.
And it really makes you wonder, with our research, Dr. Dominguez's dictation, the company that did his introductory report, magnet schools, and you have to wonder if this is a ploy to set us in that direction in a nosedive, I suppose, because we're going to tank. Everything's going to have to be redone.
Or is it just that he just doesn't understand anything that isn't like old school? Like, this is the way we always did it, so this is the way we should always do it. Is that his mentality? And then which case, because the thing is, his district might not have had we are a very unique
diversity
community out here.
Yeah.
And the thing is, our kids with ESL are doing way better than the rest in Southwest Kansas because of the strength of our programs. And so many people are looking at they're struggling here, so it's just bad. The thing is, they're not looking at the progress that the students are making. They're only looking at, this is where they're testing at, instead of, this is where they were testing at, and this is how much they've increased, because it's a drastic improvement with that.
Even with the struggles that Kansas has, like, we ranked 37th in teacher pay, but in 2022 we ranked 27th in K through 12 education. So we still managed to pull out good. That means we have teachers who generally want to do the job well and eke out a pretty good score considering what we're willing to give them, but we're just undercutting until there's nothing left.
The thing is, what is it? Tamara says when we lose reading interventionists in K through 6, our reading scores will drop. Yeah, and the thing that I've been hearing from teachers is interventionists are a kind of like a highly skilled, specialized portion of education. And they're very hard to get. And if this happens, we're losing them. And the problem is, if we change our course and decide to go back, we're going to have to rebuild, and it's going to take forever to get them back again. I work at Victor and Ellis, and we currently have over 52% of our students receiving ELL services. Are we just dropping that crucial support to those 220 students in one school? That's just one. School. Just one school. 220 students.
And the people who want things like this don't realize that every dollar you put into education results in a financial increase exponentially.
But so we're getting rid of the intervention programs. We're getting rid of ESL. All the things to help underserved communities, and we're getting rid of science. Why is science getting go? Yeah, okay. Before I get into the science thing, I'm just going to put in Mary Carlin. Majority of interventionists at ESLs have master's degrees specializing in teaching and reading. Yeah, exactly. So they are. That's what. Yeah, like I was saying, they were specialists. They need that extra learning. But with the science too, that teaches critical thinking. Why are we getting rid of that? And one thing that I learned from one of the science teachers here is we, as our school district, is actually scoring high there. We're doing better. I think, particularly compared to like the rest of Southwest Kansas, if you compare our scores, which I think 5th grade is where they said that they start the testing, but because they have the K through 4 starting portion, we're testing many percentage points higher than all the neighboring schools. I think the only district that is doing better is Hayes, but honestly, that's a privileged district because it has, that's a university district. So there's a different dynamic going on there. Yeah. There's a lot going on in chat tonight. We're going to try to keep up with y'all.
Love it.
Yeah.
Greg, Zach, I don't have evidence, but that lady that spoke at the legislative coffee is probably friends with Jennifer. Maybe.
She's probably doing cartwheels today.
Yeah, that was big news for her. That totally wraps around them not being able to buy into or melt into our culture, and be a part of it. This will separate that divide and make it worse. That's
right. Kelly's retiring. I've known her for long time. When I was with the zoo.
Great teacher.
Her sister was at Eda Sharman when I was there. Miss Laliker. I'm saying it wrong now, but she wasn't my teacher, but she was there. She watched me at recess all the time, and she's awesome.
Okay, so
and they
Kelly,
love retrievers.
Okay, actually, so remember at the beginning I mentioned the shift over, how that worked back then. Kelly actually is one of the teachers that I worked with when they shifted from writing to science, and she was one of the ones that took it by the horns and just was like, this is a great critical thinking thing, and she blossomed with it. And they're just getting rid of that entire program. The entire program is basically getting gutted. And another factor with that, it was a we talk about magnet schools drawing attention to places. That program was a magnet program for us because it attracted science-minded teachers that wanted to do something like this. They came here just to teach science, and now you're making them do general education. It's going to add to the mass exodus that we're already hearing about and whispering about. And today, I think, is just like, I think we heard trickles of much higher than that before. Today,
I had flooded. People reach out to me that I would never imagine reach out to me, and I laugh because it's sad to me that we're what we represent in the community for these people. Most of our audience represents teachers and educators, and we're so happy that you're here. And again, we're happy to speak up for you. But it just they were crying, completely beside themselves.
That's what I was going to say.
They were experiencing this.
If tonight's show is not a sign of the fear that these teachers are going through, they're turning to a little podcast just to get any bit of information that they can, get their word out. Please reach out to us. Let us know your stories. If you don't want to put it in the comments, send us a private message to one of us. We can copy and paste it into the comments ourselves, and that way it's anonymous. The only way anything's going to change is if we speak out about this and make it loud.
Make people realize.
I mean, the next thing we got to do at this point, I think, with 50 people here tonight, there's somebody here that knows how to organize a protest, how to organize a rally. We got to be louder than them. We've got resources and access to things. Just let us know how we need to help, what we need to do, and we got a small army here tonight. Let's fight.
Let's see, Becca.
I'm pumped now. Yeah. I was so down today.
One of the arguments I could see the district making is that next year there will be an increase of 3 phonics instruction in K through 2 class. Data from the whole group instruction has been seen to make a bigger impact in the same note that hit the K through 3, and now science kids will lose access to have a fair and equitable lifelong education. Yeah, it's we're going to have, it's going to be so, sorry, we're trying to catch up to the comments.
Yeah, it's a disservice to our community, to our future, to the children there now and the children that'll be there tomorrow. It's odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead with the comments there.
Oh yeah,
Holly.
I have taught remedial reading at the college since 2014. In the beginning, the majority of students were athletes from cities. The past 3 years, it has quickly began to trend to Garden City. I think I know what you're seeing there, about 60% now. I think what she's seeing is actually the post-COVID trend, because about 3 years ago, a little or so, would be when the COVID ram hit. So basically, which we already know that is where a lot of the score issues that they're complaining about happened, which happened everywhere. Because nothing was prepared for something like COVID.
I wonder if us killing a student on a practice field had anything to do with college athletes not wanting to come here.
I don't know what
there's got to be a correlation to that.
Yeah.
I think, moving past that, I think it's, there's a lot of things that we don't have anything out here, entertainment wise. There are a few things, but there's not a lot of things, and we don't bring bands in. We missed the boat there with United Wireless Arena. There's just a lot of things that detract people from coming out to Garden City. It is harder, and I think Dr. Dominguez is experiencing that right now.
Yeah.
And not being able to recruit so much. Although we do know, there were Texas is his spot.
Yeah, I'm guessing that has to do with your comment about the
how much
the students not coming. Yep, and then also Don's commenting about how they know that we'll speak out and can't fear. We don't have the fear of retaliation. Honestly, that's why when Kent said asked me to join this, that's kind of what my mind went to. Like, I was like, I don't have the time to be on a board, but I have the time to help these guys and get our community this information. That's my main drive, and I'm pretty sure that's their main drive too. I just don't want to speak for you.
Julia, she's disappointed that she hasn't heard anything from the district directly.
Yes,
so have big reactions, and they do. And we did break this story, and that's why a lot of people reached out to me. They were wanting to know if this was true, and then they ended up going to their supervisor, showing them the post, and being confirmed as true. And the big question, as Kelly says here,
about Julia. She was a Crystal Apple Award winner one year, so these aren't teachers that are poor teachers by any means.
Yeah, who's helping make this decision? Why is it not going in front of the school board? That's a legitimate question. I don't know if it should.
Here's one thing:
if it's in his purview, but who's helping him make this decision? But here's the thing:
I remember hearing rumors about stuff like this coming since the summer. So this I'm pretty sure this has been planned for a while. It's just leaking faster than they wanted it to get out to the public, because there was a discussion about the basically, I want to say that somebody said something about the SPED program being canceled, and they thought that was happening. There was this big scare. I think we all talked about it at one point.
We may have.
Where the whole SPED program was at risk. And this might have been part of it. This might have been what which for those, that's the special education program, which this is technically, I guess, a part of special education. Just anything that needs a little extra help. But this is our community. I remember moving here and being excited because I went to Sears back when Sears was a thing. And we heard 7 languages right in the line there. How did we come to this? Well, actually, I kind of know. We're going on national rhetoric instead of what actually is good for Garden City.
And we have a private comment that I'm going to share to our group here.
Okay.
Or to the public If you want to go ahead with that, Whitney.
Which one? Just one. That one. The just wondering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh.
Go ahead, Zach.
Just wondering, do people know that Dr. D made this decision without board approval? One board member requested a board presentation 3 to 4 times before this decision was made. Dr. D told the board he can do this without board approval. So he's literally on a power trip.
Yes.
He is drunk with power.
Which every story that I've heard about this man, I've never met him. I'm going to put that out there. But every story I've heard is his personality to a T. He is a very alpha type A
male.
Personality type. Yeah. And wow, if that's happened, then I will say I had bad misgivings, and a lot of teachers had bad misgivings about this guy. The board should have just promoted Glenda, and what has happened here is strict, and they might be upset with what he's doing now, but they did this. The board's decision did this. I really will give them a little.
We have to keep our eye on the deputy superintendent search too. Yes. Traditionally, we've hired from inside. We've brought people in from surrounding communities, but not really real far. And who are the people from our district that have put their blood, sweat, and tears, have been here for 40 years, know our community, know our neighbors, know who works at Dillon's, who's that person they're interviewing in our district for that deputy superintendent position? Who's that new Glenda LaBarbara? Who's going to be that? For us?
We're 100% not done with the settlements. What was it? I heard I don't know this is true, but I heard there was one, in the 30 years with Carlin, there was one incident where they had to do a settlement type thing. And this guy's here not even a full year, and we're already up to probably a half dozen that we know of, 3 or 4 for sure. Yeah. 450,000. Yeah. Oh, there's going to be way more settlements, especially the women. We're trying.
I'm so glad that we were able to realize that we weren't supposed to be here tonight. We were going to be off tonight, and it was just too important. So, no, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah. I just planned on I was like, all right, we're going to have time with the wife tonight. We don't see each other much. And then 5 minutes after I sent her a text, we're going to do this. And I'm like, we're not going to do this.
So at the risk of sounding needy or beggy, since we have 60 people here watching tonight, if everybody could give a thumbs up or a heart or something that you're watching, and even go an extra step is to share it, it will boost our show dramatically, and
also get this message out that this is happening.
We do other things too. We do like to talk about the community in positive lights, and highlight nonprofits.
We do this because we love the community.
And special events. And I'm sorry, Whitney, I'm gonna give a shout out real quick to Dude Smell This.
Okay.
Dude Smell This is a sponsor of ours. If you need help with your website, or you need to build a website, if you need logos, ads, flyers, videos, let us know. We'd be happy to work with you and help you out. Social media advertising is the #1 way to advertise right now. We know a lot about it, so please hit us up. You can contact the show directly, or Whitney, Zach, myself, Caitlin, privately, and we'll get you more information on how you can do that. But hit up Dude Smell This, LLC, 920 East Grand, Hayesville, Kansas, 316-315-4620 for all your CBD needs. They've got oils, candies, snacks. They've got dog treats, dog stuff too. They've got just about everything that you need.
They got Kansas legal versions of just about everything when you walk into one of those Colorado stores.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so we're happy for Dude Smell This, and we also would like to give a shout out to our other show sponsor this week.
forgot about. And what is she, Becca does point out that she does believe that this is within his and HR's reach legally. I fully believe that is.
It probably
within his.
That's their whole thing.
But
is finding the bending point and pressing it.
And he might be the one doing this, but I am going to put the board on point, though, because they're the ones who hired him.
Yeah, well,
literally, everybody that I know that attended those things did not. They had so many misgivings about him. But for some odd reason, he made it to the top of the list instead of Glenda. Well, I know why. They just didn't like Glenda because she followed the rules and regs, and people got upset with it.
And I don't know why she wouldn't be considered. Some more comments coming in.
Yeah, that's not accurate exactly. There was a very long process, guided conversation with KSDE. Okay. And other agencies, and the decision was not taken lightly at all. I had many conversations with people in the district throughout that.
Did that conversation happen with teachers? I feel like they're a part of this. I mean, it sounds like to me a lot of things were done behind teachers' backs, and it was sprung on them.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's a lot of people that are upset that we brought it to light and are discussing it.
There's how many? I don't know how many teachers found out through us and not through their their own management and administration.
Way too many.
Yeah,
this should have been out in the open. And,
it shouldn't have been a surprise. If it was so beneficial, it should not have been a surprise. It should have been a welcoming occurrence that happened over time.
Yeah.
He's talking about the special
SPED issue. Yeah. Okay. The SPED issue. Oh, she's talking about the SPED issue. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm talking about all this that's happening and just dropped with the English second language, the English second language, the science teachers, and the interventionists as a whole. For the process, like this is just so wrong for our community.
It is,
and
you know, parents were blindsided by a lot of this as well. You know, it's such a slight on our community and what we are. I feel like, you know, we're taking the majority and not giving them the best opportunity that we possibly can. And
the big concern is when more teachers leave our district and more positions open up, which non-classroom teachers will be forced into classroom settings next. Yes, and that's what basically what they were already promising, and that's why I think they're trying to shore it up with this science thing.
Yeah. By
destroying our own science program. But the thing is, a lot of those teachers came here just to teach science. They can teach anywhere. They wanted to teach science. That's why they're here. We're going to lose more because of that.
What inspiration, or there are many teachers that might have been considering coming to this area, looking at their options, applying. This is the time of year that they start doing that sort of thing. And if Kansas, Garden City, Southwest Kansas was on their list, it is no longer there. I promise you.
I mean, I'm here about this ESL issue. Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's all together. Like, it all dropped today. The science, the ESL, and the interventionists.
Right.
All today. I've been hearing rumblings for a while that this was going to happen. Didn't think that they would do something like that. My next question also is what this will do federally, because there is federal money involved with programs like that, state and federal. Right. Will they be qualified for that? I don't know. STEM-only positions are huge sought-after positions in middle and eastern Kansas and even other states. STEM programs they can easily be sharked and taken out.
Yep.
Retirement deadline was March 15th to retire for Kansas, which means
we
might not see Oh, that's why it happened after that. He trapped people. Yeah. So that way, they have at least one more year before they can retire. Got it.
Before we'll see the full effects of this.
And this is going to take 2 years to fully hit. And the thing is, we're already seeing an exodus. I've not only been talking to teachers about, and still the district has not sent out a statement at all to employees telling us, yeah,
So
everybody that I know has talked.
more district than their employers. We're giving more information than their
everybody
employers.
That I know that's confirmed this has confirmed this through their direct supervisors. So their supervisors know, and they're like, yes, this is happening, but they still haven't told the staff. And here's the thing, we're already losing teachers. I've been talking with some, with all these anti-LGBTQ policies that the school district has been trying to implement and the board's been trying to implement. We're going to lose some that are great because they're being harassed. That's basically all these policies and procedures are just harassing them. And there's the word that I was given just the other day by someone, actually it was a couple, and they both was that they are getting afraid. They are now afraid for themselves at their work, from their work. So we're already starting to lose that. This is going to be adding to the trickle, and we're already losing a bunch because also, honestly, I'm just going to talk. Dominguez apparently has a hit list, like where he's got people on his list that he's angry at already. I'm like, that's not a sign of a good boss. Like if that's true. Oh, we have so many things.
It's not just here locally. It's across the state as well. Instead of focusing on issues like affordable housing, expanding Medicaid, shutting down big pharma, legalization of cannabis to quit putting poor people in jail. We're focused on one person next year in the state of Kansas and banning them from using a locker room or playing a sport. Playing a sport in the state of Kansas, one person. That's where our state legislation is focused on. And so we're attacking an entire marginalized community, and we are becoming the most hateful state for LGBTQI. And we're going to have an exodus of people just because of that.
Exactly. We're going to do this, and then we're going to transition to the next problem that's happening, because I mean, this is our town. This is directly affecting us.
One of the first
Kelly
things
pointed out she can make more as a sub.
One of the first things that will deplete a city faster than anything is to have a poor education system. Professionals will not want to bring their kids here, and so you'll have a mass exodus of lawyers, doctors, all professionals.
It's going to be a brain drain, and it's going to be a problem.
Yes. And I personally, I don't want to live in a community full of dumb people. I just don't. It's bad enough. I've been to Walmart.
She's saying delaying the decision and preventing retirement for those eligible. The district also saved money by not having to pay out the stipulated bonus to retiring teachers. Yeah. I mean, and of course, we haven't even talked about the biggest thing. Like, one of the biggest things that's been causing a lot of issues is just the undermining of teachers. Like, the board has been doing this. Dominguez is doing it, where they're just not letting teachers they're the experts in their field in our community, and we're literally pulling the rug and saying, well, you can't do that, even though that's proven, even though that's standard, even though that's normal. You're saying no. I just watched, well, I already mentioned the SEL thing with did I mention that, or did we talk about that?
We did talk a little bit about the SEL.
SEL, okay, yeah.
And when we come back next week with a scheduled prepared for show, we'll talk a little bit more.
Yeah, we did not prepare for this, so we're kind of off the cuffs, folks. No. It's okay.
So we're completely off the cuffs tonight.
I would like
been a good show.
to listen to
Savannah. I'd like to know what's not true, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little more in the comments.
Oh shoot, I think I
was going to suggest we listen to Dr. Russ Tidwell's comments at the legislative coffee, because it was a plea to teachers, to our legislators, to listen to teachers.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead. That's kind of what I was leading into.
Completely relevant. Relevant to that.
Thank you for your work. It's hard work, and it's often thankless. I think you've all had an interesting week. My name is Russ Tidwell. I'm sorry. I'm a 29-year teacher in USD 457. I am a lifelong registered Republican, although I am consistently confused why we're all the time. This is an education question, but it's not the same education question. So, and it needs a little a little bit in front of it. The COVID thing was real. The test scores that Representative Lewis used are from one state test. We came out of COVID and had to go back full bore. The 10th graders who were tested went home for 9 weeks their 8th grade year. The next year they were in school, if they were in school because of COVID. It was a strange year. In addition to that, over the last 5 years as a teacher, I've seen more and more and more things added to what we're supposed to do in the school day, both at the state level and at the federal level. The governor is going to veto this. It will likely not get overridden. So my question for you is this. In a world where what just passed the House does not really become law, what will you all do to help us as teachers get some of those extra things off our plates so that we can go back to teaching? Secondly, I have to say this, because I get this public forum. Representative Lewis said it wasn't personal. In the classroom, it's personal. Every time you say education is failing, it feels personal. Every time. Please remember that.
Yeah, he always has fantastic points. Now, Savannah was talking about, I think somebody in the chat said that everybody knew it was coming, and she was saying I think she was saying it was not true that not everybody were given the information.
Correct.
Now, speaking of legislation, though, I do think we can go round and round on this for a while, but really we don't have a lot of information because they haven't even told their staff exactly, other than it's happening.
Yeah.
But everyone was told at 8 a.m. and not everyone was given letters.
But there's other things also happening.
That's a massive failure of communication on the
huge.
district's part. And that's what gets us talking, I suppose, is because this became a shock to a lot of people. But especially the people that got that letter, that contacted us, that were crying in their cars today.
Yeah.
And there's a conversation going about having that ESL endorsement for and all teachers, and I think it would be super beneficial for most, if not all, teachers in our community to have that endorsement and the step in.
Sure, but that doesn't mean that you quit funding ESL.
Yeah.
Only.
Correct.
Now,
we don't just put substitutes that have no experience with it whatsoever.
Right.
Now, something.
And I hope.
Yeah.
Go ahead. That they don't get a better paying job.
Yeah.
Because we don't pay very well.
Yes. I was just going to say, basically something else that's going to add to the brain drain, but this is going to be statewide, is the attack on trans that we were also, because that also dropped today. Because what? We can't live in a day where only one thing drops.
No.
What is it? The old Chinese curse kind of statement? May you live in interesting times. Well, they're interesting. They are interesting.
Y'all got any of them precedented times?
Yeah. So apparently, we were all excited because there was going to be the governor vetoed the trans sports bill. But that victory was a little too soon.
Yeah.
We are attacking what'd you figure it out? 4 students in the district?
Well, like I said earlier in the show, it was 3. 2 are graduating this year, so there's 1 next year.
Yeah, but the thing is also, like, this legislation is just attacking so many few students. Mm-hmm. However, it's so much more overreaching because, as you were saying, if somebody just complains about somebody's sports team, then now the genitals of your child have to be checked to make sure that they are in the right sports cap.
If your daughter is doing extremely well in a game and somebody from a town, the town that you're playing decides that your daughter is a man, someone's going to be looking at her genitals to prove she is a woman or can.
Why?
That's where we are, and it disgusts me. It's stupid. It's irrelevant. It's a non-problem. It's a non-problem.
Mm-hmm.
I trust our administrators, our teachers, to make the right decisions, and for those situations, for such a non-problem, 1 student next year in the entire state of Kansas. We need to be focusing on fully funding special education. We need to be focused on expanding Medicaid, senior care,
and it doesn't.
And medicine for people, legalizing cannabis and shutting down big pharma insulin.
We'll get back to but the thing is, it doesn't even stop there, because now there's a bill that they're passed that is veto proof already, and that one is the anti-trans bathroom bill. But there's also another caveat in it that most people aren't paying attention to.
That's a lot of that is in this,
No, this is a second bill. There's another separate bill that's on its way to the desk. It hasn't made it to the desk yet, and this one also outlaws looking at crimes from anything other than male or female perspective, which basically means it will make it illegal to actually track hate crimes on LGBTQ. Is part of the anti-trans bathroom bill, which that one's actually a separate bill. There's like a dozen or so right now all going through. I have a feeling, but the thing is, these anti-trans bills become a brain drain on every state that's having them. Like, lots of people leave, experts leave, because just the environment is bad. Now, Becca wanted to go back to the funding of the elementary science. Going back to the conservative funding elementary science, all K through 6 are certified to teach all subjects. Yes. However, this doesn't take things off teachers. Yes. This adds an additional subject plan to their plate, which is funny because at last night's or Monday night or whatever night it was, meeting, when talking about the social studies adoption, they said they held off a year to adopt because they were trying to prevent adding too much to teachers' plates. I'm sure that's just they're just adding more and more. They're not actually taking away, and they're adding more work because they're also wanting to, the parents' rights stuff that they're trying to put in, where they literally every single parent can change the curriculum slightly of the students.
And gosh, think about music. What happened to 5th graders this year here in Garden City at USD 457 for music? All these 5th graders showed up first day of school thinking they're going to learn their new instrument or belt out some notes from their lungs, and gone, right? Everything that has happened under this new administration this school year I feel like has been an utter failure. Nothing has been handled right. Yes, that is the plan, Allie, to fill it with long-term subs or drop it.
Yep, they're just dropping it. They're going to just put long-term subs in until it goes away.
I've heard many times that kids didn't learn social studies because there wasn't enough time in the day. But wait, let's also add science.
Yes. It's a general education and not make it a class. Yeah.
Which, again, honestly, as a person who worked in the science education field for so long, it really does take a specialized person to make it exciting and we have those in the district. Once we scare them away, it's going to be very hard to come back from this.
It's like trying to hit the Golden Corral buffet line with a paper plate. It'll hold for a while. Even the Dixie will get a lot on there. The best of them will get there. But eventually everything's going to collapse. And what's going to happen is less and less teachers, less and less people wanting to go into that field. And it's going to be harder and harder to educate people.
Yeah.
USD 457 operates top-down management. Unless administration decides to invite their staff to the table, they will continue to destroy morale. Absolutely. Yep. And I want to go back to Russ Tidwell real quick and just say that if our legislators do listen to this show, like I've heard that they do, this is your chance to get a hold of the school district and speak out and say, as a representative of this district, the people are telling me they don't like this, and you need to consider that.
And
you guys have voices and you need to use them. This is the time.
And everybody, and right now, I believe they are negotiating. The teachers are negotiating with the district, and I think we really need to get behind our teachers. Everybody needs to support them as much as possible, because if we don't, this is going to damage and the thing is, this has this massive trickle effect, because if the school district goes bad, I think somebody already mentioned it a little earlier, we're going to have a hard time recruiting for doctors. We're going to have a hard time recruiting for everything.
This was effective immediately, I believe.
No, it's going to take effect fall 20th.
It will?
Okay. Oh, yeah. There's no way they can do it like mid thing. So
snap, boom.
Yeah, okay. It'll have to happen at the next year. But he waited so long to it obviously leaked sooner than
Yeah. Doing it after the retirement point too, so you're not giving these teachers time to decide if they
well,
want
it's
to
not even
transition.
the retire. Yeah,
if
it's
they're
not
eligible.
even it's not even just retirement point because teachers have a weird situation because they have to tell the district that they're teaching by a certain time, and if they don't, they actually get fined huge chunks of money for leaving the district midsummer even. So he's waiting for those deadlines so that way teachers don't leave, and because if they leave too soon, then they break contract and then they'll owe money. So yeah, this is going to this is a total strategy of screwing over people. That's what this is. That's 100% what this is. But
what can we do? What do we need to do? We need people to run.
We need people to run for office. We need to
board.
start going to the board meetings and making a voice. One of the things that the three made it on with was they were making so much commotion during the COVID ridiculousness. We need the sane people need to do that too. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, we need people to run.
If
you're interested in running, if you're on the fence about running, you need some help, you need some hype, folks, let us know. We'd be happy to talk to you, motivate you to run, help you with your campaigns. We've all been on campaigns. Some of us have run their own campaigns.
I don't wish it on any of you, but I wish all of you to do it.
Do it.
Yeah, we need to call the district office. We need to send emails.
Yes.
We need it.
To Dr. Dominguez, to the school board. Again, there is 2 months, less than 2 months left to sign up for elections in 2024.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, so basically we need to let them know that we're not happy that the ESL is being removed from our district, basically. That the interventionists are being removed and turned into regular teachers at our district, and the science teachers are being removed. K through 4. Let me reiterate, K through 4 science, which is a program that has boosted us to higher qualifiers, having actual specialized people specializing in teaching the students the subjects, and then and then also of course also get in touch with your legislators to stop the ridiculous attack on trans people in our state, because we are going to become one of the
focus on things that matter.
Yeah,
that really
there's just too much going on. I can't believe all this is happening. I can, because that's kind of, I feel like this is a strategy. Just throw everything at them until they get exhausted.
So they have till June 2nd, so they have plenty of time.
Okay, so they have plenty of time, but not all of them have been told. They actually haven't announced this to the staff. Yeah. Nobody's gotten anything in writing that I've talked to. They've just had it confirmed through their supervisors. So, yeah. Okay.
All right. Guys, we want to thank you so much for tuning in with us here tonight. 75. We had 100 of you at one point, which is huge for us. We're sorry it has to be for bad news. We want to see you around for the good news. Whether you like us, you love us. We know a lot of you hate us that are watching. So we invite you to be here as well. Interact with us. Let us know what you think we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. And continue to grow with us as we keep an eye on our local politicians, school boards, state, nationally.
I would like a copy of that note. Somebody
we'd like a copy of the note as well. Actually, we've just what we've been able to relay to you tonight has come from anonymous sources. More than 5. So that's why we were able to verify the story, that it came from multiple people who wish to remain anonymous. So we will keep it that way, as we always do. Thank you for being here tonight. We'll keep trying. Like I said, whether we get it right, whether we get it wrong, it's a community forum, and we want to hear from you guys. Final thought, Zach?
Yeah, I just wanted to give somebody mentioned Israel earlier. There's so many comments, I can't even find it to share it anymore. But
I'll find it.
We are planning on interviewing him. He's a very, very busy person, so we've struggled a little bit to schedule that. Chances are we're going to record that and air it on a Wednesday. And maybe we'll do a special live airing of it too. I'm not sure how we're going to play that out yet. But
we
do
can
you plan to
next
interview
week.
Israel?
Next week, who do we have next week?
Organized
next
chaos.
week's a big one.
Ah, there we go.
Next week, Bob Lewis. No,
Representative Bob
week.
Lewis. Is it not next week? It's
That
the
is
following
the 19th.
week. 2 weeks.
That is the 19th. 2 weeks after.
Bob Lewis will be here, and we'll get to discuss everything he's done while he's been in the House. Again, thank you guys. Whitney, do you have a final thought for the night?
I just want to add to this, and I want teachers to love their job again as well, because this is a job of passion, and we want you guys to keep passionate. So we will support you however you need it.
Well, most of you taught me. Most of you taught me. The Lalaker family is, like I said, I believe Kelly was at, did her student teaching at Edith Sherman. But anyway, like she was saying, it's ridiculous in this town that you can be a substitute teacher and make more than a tenured teacher. Thank you for being here. We'll catch you next week on Wednesday.
Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for being true believers, doing the right thing. Love you all. Flip.
We're out.
Flip.
Bye.
Well. Yeah, test. Better. We'll take a minute to envision it, and envision the ribbon from a difference of opinion, inquisitive vision it. When the picture in the mirror isn't shit, but give it a minute, fix this image and hit the brick with the viciousness. But don't play, cause one day you'll be saying, you shoulda, coulda, woulda, but my shit it just wouldn't drop, cause you wouldn't have, but you're so worried, it was your world. And when you hit them with the rhymes, they had no words. Just come back to the flip of the tongue fun that you once had, and chug it like a beer and crush that. Go shave your mustache and write it down, cut that, and show 'em us rap again. Oh, I'm getting tired of that. I don't know anymore what they call that. Getting so you know that something's missing. Let's go show 'em what rap is again. Like taking a step out of your front door for the first time, and you want more with the sunshine, but you've been locked away, forgetting you don't care who listens, is not part of the mission. Just say what you got to say, whether it makes sense. Just a bunch of gibberish, spit from the hip, slipping so sharp and splitting your lip. You get a grip, cause as good as your shit is, you know it really isn't a big deal, cause it'll turn heads down too. It's your purpose, round two. But you gotta open your eyes and realize it's right here. But to open your mind, you gotta try to fight fear and find a light bright enough to ignite and excite peers. But get their attention, I find you gotta give them a big boom. You're the fuel, and I got my lighter right here. Oh, I'm getting tired of that. I don't know anymore what they call that. Getting so you know that something's missing. Let's go show 'em what rap is again.